nerves, time to get 'em on. Living life for the next drop. Nerves, time to get 'em on. Living life for the next drop. At least I sound right. At least I sound right. So boy, this a mash up the place. At least I sound right. At least I sound right. At least I sound right. At least I sound. This a mash up the place. It's a soul right. At least a soul right.
up. While you put on your makeup, put that makeup, don't hide those lies you tell. We go round and round on this carousel. I can see the signs, baby, you can spell. Being with you is H-E-L-L. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Ain't it funny how all the games played out? Like I don't know what you're doing when you stay out. Tryna lock me down, I had to break out. Cause you lie, repeat, rewind, retweet, then act like hoes that you see on TV. Ha, with a crying shame, with a body on that frame and a half a brain. Damn.
I'm lost and numb, cold to the touch. I pretend like I don't remember your name. Every masterpiece turns to blasphemy. When I close my eyes, yeah, I still see your face. We were the thunder and the lightning, burning fire started from a spark. I would spend you just to watch you twirl. It was us against the world. You were the rain falling on my skin. Yeah, I was dying when you pulled me in. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 4. Yes, that's right, week 4. We know that Blizzard's had a little bit of a tizzy with the servers. Now we're going to be getting right back in. Week 4 of NUEL, of course, NUEL Overwatch. We are in the final rounds of the Swiss before we go to the quarterfinals. And I'm really excited to see these teams with their backs up against the wall try and make that final sprint to make it into the bracket.
Yeah, indeed. This is the last week before Swiss ends and we go into the semi-finals. You've probably not heard Rock before, but he's joining me today. One of my fellow co-casters. We've cast together for a while, so this should be a lot of fun today. We're just waiting for a couple of team members from the side of University of Manchester. They're going to be up against Newcastle, hopefully. We're going to get some map bans soon. So who are you actually looking out for here, Rock? Because I know you are part of Newcastle University.
I am, and there's a lot of players to actually highlight on NACL. They have they've been moving more towards a quad tank recently, but someone historically that I'd like to highlight is Shovox. Shovox in the last season played a lot of Zarya, played a lot of that. Generally played a very carry role in this tank in the tank role. Was oftentimes stomping entire teams on his own in the lower parts of the bracket. Had a little bit of difficulties when NACL came against the better teams, and that's why they started to stumble. But right now, the rest of the team is performing really well. But the one to highlight is Nickelsheep. Nickelsheep on these projectile DPSs and even on some of the hit scans has been absolutely fantastic. I can only think of multiple times. I can think of multiple times where we see Spicy Rice manage to take it out on the Pharah on Lijiang. And he's had some really impressive performances, finding multiple boots, finding great ultimates. He's really good at slipping behind the rest of the enemy team while his team is in that front line. Because they're running triple tank and sometimes, as I say, quadruple. We don't see Spicy Rice show up so much there. But it's definitely impressive to see him when he's on these DPS. When they actually decide to run it, they've definitely been taking to the meta quite aptly.
Yeah, so you were saying about Nickelsheep, so a good projectile player. So the thing is with that though, is if you've got this whole 4-tank meta at the moment, people just waiting onto point and just sticking the axe in, not letting anyone get anywhere close to it. With Nickelsheep, if you can play the Junkrat pretty well, you can shut down those 4-tank combos by blessing those nades into the big bodies on the point. Hopefully get them off it pretty quick, and those Riptides really come in handy to get rid of the Moira and the Lucio in the background. Just got to make sure you don't let the fade get the better of you on a Moira, because a lot of times you do see these Junkrats throwing the Riptide into the Moira and she just backs out of there, does a bit of a moonwalk, doesn't let you get anything out of it, those edgy shadows that she slips into. So we don't want that today. Hopefully Nickelsheep can get rid of the backline with success and do some damage onto those 4-tank combos. If we see in those maps, do have that bit of a King of a Hill vibe to them.
Certainly does. And someone else that we've seen really, I don't know too much about Dankiata, unfortunately, but someone else that's really been stepping up is Delusional. Delusional didn't really have many standout performances in the prior season, playing except on Genji. Really impressive Genji play coming out from him, but it's started to diversify a lot. And I feel like that's the core of this team starting to come together with a couple of swap-ins coming in, for example, for Calico and Spicy Rice coming into this team. Delusional starting to play the Zarya for the team and managing to allow them to transition into a quad tank, triple tank meta is really important, because now they have that added flexibility. He's actually been playing other things as well, playing other DPS, has actually been super impressive. So definitely someone who's stepped up a lot from what they were previously doing and gave the team the ability to do this.
Yeah, well, the top team Underwatch there actually was saying in an interview recently that one of their main things that they feel like is the reason they're winning so much at the moment is the flexibility on their teams, that they can play all sorts. And if you are having just a single player who just plays Genji, like you say, the fact that you can now flex onto different DPSs like Soldier, Pharah in the skies, that's going to really help them adjust to the play style of the enemy team, especially on the maps coming up when you don't have a Mercy in so much in the meta with those reses anymore. If you can get that big pick early on, that's really important, especially when you deny the Zenyatta from getting the ultimate early or deny the Lucio from getting the ult early, using the sound barrier or the transcendence, stopping the push entirely. If you can get those big picks and adjust to the enemy team accordingly using the DPSs, that's what's really going to be able to get the battering ram out and push through the enemy team.
And that's something as well that it doesn't even need to be picks in the current meta. We haven't seen a lot of it, but there are whispers coming out of the woodwork that there are going to be Sombras coming around. I think we saw a lot of it from specifically one team, I think it was Swansea, was it? That were playing a load of Sombra in the
yes.
King of the North qualifiers. Going to be switching over now. We shall be, so basically, we saw a load of Sombra come out from Swansea. Swansea were really adept at using that, did actually fall down to the side of... Wait, sorry, we're swapping games. Sorry, we're actually going to be going to see Rogue Swan, the team I was just talking about, I believe, play against No Mercy. Unfortunately, Newcastle won't be having any games yet again, but we will be going towards, I believe No Mercy is a Manchester team, is it not?
Believe so, yes, indeed. That is Manchester Uni, the A team, as our observer likes to call them. So yeah, we'll be jumping into a match with them versus Rogue Swan. Rogue Swan actually put up an amazing fight. Last week we had some unsanctioned matches, which was with Counterfeit. Instead of week 4, we are going back to week 4 now. We jumped in the time travel machine. We jumped back in there. But yeah, they put up a great fight. So it's looking at pretty strong right now. Johnny is pretty amazing on the Lucio and the Moira. So those are really important picks, especially in this meta at the moment with Coalescence just healing your team up so you can't get that huge damage in the front lines. And Billy GG has been playing really well on Roadhog recently. So shutting down pushes, especially on the maps that we're going to be going into, which we'll find out very soon.
This is kind of a bit of a redemption story for No Mercy. No Mercy missing a lot of their players when they did the qualifiers for their own tournament, in fact, King of the North, which is going to be hosted in Manchester this weekend. They didn't manage to qualify because they didn't have a lot of their players in, and now they're going to have their full first team to get to play against Rogue Swan, a team who have actually made it to the live finals in joint, like, second, kind of third, fourth, sorry, more than second. So it's interesting to see how they're going to match up against them and how they could have possibly done this tournament, which they didn't quite qualify for.
Yeah, so hopefully they've learned from that now. I mean, you were saying they didn't have a lot of their players, but now they've got them all back. Maybe back in action, got that lineup, lining up for a new victory on these maps coming up. I think we may be going to Kings Row, staple UK map, and a staple NUEL map, actually. We do see it a lot every week. Haven't actually seen too much play from Rogue Swan, mainly saw Blizzard World, and I believe it was one of the King Hill maps, I forget, but we'll see how they felt on this map, especially with Billy GG. He's a very aggressive tank, so pushing onto Kings Row start off, it's really important to get through that choke early. So if you get through that choke, get onto point, it's a lot easier. And with the DPSs on the right side, pushing down onto No Mercy, with not getting to the finals, Rogue Swan could be looking pretty hot right now.
They certainly could. I mean, Rogue Swan is surprising me with this. We're actually going to be getting to the game, but surprising me that they banned towards Kings Row, because in King of the North, they were oftentimes picking towards these control point maps, trying to get the enemy team to take them to Ilios, catch them off guard, and perhaps put themselves in quite the position of comfort. So interesting to see them actually leave up one of the more hotly contested, hotly picked maps in Kings Row.
Yeah, exactly. So this could be an interesting map all in all. We're going to quickly see the attacking team, which is going to be, let me quickly find out. I assume it's No Mercy, but we'll find out very shortly.
No Mercy are not going to be attacking from what I can tell, because currently the red team are Swansea.
Ah, okay, of course, sorry about that. But we're getting the picks like run out quite quickly. We are seeing the 4-tank combo with the Lucio Mora. We do see that pretty often. Just going to get on the point as quick as possible. It's weird to see Rectangle Bob actually going to pick up the Doomfist with Billy GG on the Torbjorn. This looks like it's going to be a pretty quick and easy win for the side of No Mercy. Getting onto it. Super fast, super good. Billy GG. I mean, that turret's going to do damage, but not too much past Tomato Wato's Ryan Shield there.
Well, that's if it actually ends up being big. I do have to say, it's very unlikely. Rectangle Bob, though, on this Doomfist, that could be something we could possibly see. Not sure if it quite fits this meta. I would be very excited to see, however, perhaps this Zarya Reinhardt come out on the offense as well. And we see Billy swap onto that Reinhardt. Seen impressive plays on pretty much every tank from them. So excited to see how that's going to work.
Yeah, so we do have the 3-tank combo with the Doomfist. So possibly they're looking to bash the Rhine Shield out the way and then get onto the point as soon as possible. Whereas you do see maybe the No Mercy Roadhog get into the background and pick up one of the supports. But they're not playing a Junkrat on this map, which would have been preferable to get rid of the big bodies coming to the point. But they are going to play this Doomfist here, so we're going to see something pretty interesting come out. They're coming into the point pretty hot, pretty fast right now. Billy GG's already on, swinging away. Zarya Shield goes down onto him, keeps him nice and healthy. That Johnny, bit out of position, maybe needs to get behind his tanks rather than not using the shield whatsoever. Doomfist actually gets through the shield pretty quickly. They're on the point, looking for this first tick already here, Ron.
Yeah, they just absolutely pushed them off. Really nice play coming up from Rectangle Bob to just move them off using that Doomfist, and they're not really able to. They're gonna go back in now, but they're on such low health and they're really lacking the ability to push on here. They haven't got any ultimate. Latanya might be looking towards theirs, but the ultimate from the side of Swansea is going to come out first. Psychologist is doing a lot of work and actually managing to help take out two as they seem to just muscle the way on in here. And this coalescence coming up from Latanya, not really finding all too much. And still like a little place. That is one interesting ultimate coming out from the side of No Mercy as they find absolutely nothing from Azalor.
Yeah, and they'll pick up this first point with pretty ease there. Rectangle Bob actually doing such a great job at displacing a lot of the targets on the point. Coalescence actually took down Lucifer very early, and Latanya wasn't getting the heal onto him that he needed. So as soon as he desuited, the fight going a lot easier. But the Diva Matrix didn't actually do too much in that fight, especially against all these hammers and whatnot. You got the fist coming in, that's not going to do much against that. I mean, you can't eat a fist. It's just going to go straight into the Diva Mech and desuit you.
You can take a knuckle sandwich, but you know, it has a little bit of a kick to it. We're going to see Chimpy now with this ultimate, which could be used to set up something, perhaps a sort of CC combo with Billy GG, but not the best way to combo. They don't have a lot of damage unless they can get this. Yeah, they're perfect. Brilliant shatter from Billy GG to open them on up. It's going to be the return shot, and that looks like a big Diva bomb. 94! Brilliant from Lucifer. Managed to completely wipe out the side of Rogue Swan, and that's a brilliant fight.
Lucifer, definitely key moment in that. Graf came out, ate it straight away, and then threw a self-destruct of his own back in the back line. Big bomb. Definitely did a lot of work there. So that was really well played from Lucifer being the key target. But again, Swansea's still looking very strong on this. And if Lucifer doesn't have the self-destruct, doesn't eat another grab, could get this through nice and easy. But so far, they're looking pretty damn good on this point.
Yeah, and we still see that No Mercy has the ultimate advantage. We're going to see his Coalescence come out on both sides, and also the beat drop. This looks like a good opportunity for No Mercy as they rush on in and find two. This is a good opportunity to just get this back line, try and reset, and now they've pushed even further forward. Looking absolutely brilliant for them, and they're still up ults here.
And a nice staggered retreat coming out from this side. Won't let them, any of them go without some, well, no mercy whatsoever coming from University of Manchester, staggering out the Diva as well. They're having a tough time. Lucio actually doing a great job on the speed boost, spinning this team in at the correct moments and healing them as well. It's very difficult to play a Lucio properly, and crossfading is one of those things which becomes a bit of a difficult option and when to take it. But this man looks like he knows what he's doing, and he's playing on his top sides. Riptide comes out now, doesn't find anyone. Smithy is just going to take it to the face and look if he can find some kills with that bunny blaster. But versus the concussion mine is never going to happen. And a big shatter coming out from the counterway, and he's going to swing around, but he can't find Rectangle Bob in the sky. Lucifer's going to go for him and find him with a boost kill. Oh god, that's got to feel bad for you.
That certainly doesn't. I'll tell you what, Tomato Wato has nerves of steel. He had a Reinhardt charging right at him and decided rather than counter-charge, do any of the, sensible decisions, would just shatter. It was perfect timing and managed to take down the entirety of the front line and back line from the side of Swansea and actually set No Mercy up to take that fight, whereas otherwise it might have been a closer fight.
Definitely grounding them with that Shadow showing them who is boss really in this situation. But they're going to cheat a different approach. This is pretty smart. They're going to go on this right side. They have picked up the Mercy now for those tactical reses mid-fight, especially with Rectangle Bob in the skies. Be a little bit difficult. Lucifer going to try get him. Self-destruct comes out. Probably won't find anyone here. They're going to continue on the fight. Tomato White's shield is down though, so a free reign from the fire in the sky. And Billy Gigi's going to find that nice fire strike onto him in the background. And this is going to be pretty over quite quickly. Lucifer using the ult. Going to find Rectangle Bob, but I think this push is over pretty quickly.
I think perhaps they'll be able to contest it right at the end here. But other than that, not really much going to come through for No Mercy. Interesting that that was actually a brilliant example of the word, of the phrase zoning ultimate. I know it's often bandied around as a bit of a joke, but that was certainly brilliant from Sir Timothy. Managed to separate Tomato Water from the rest of the pack, and that tire could do the exact same thing just by finding a pick.
Yeah, really important play here. No Mercy is doing the road hog, but Rectangle Ball's going to pick him quickly with a barrage of his own there, and then quickly a nice rocket onto Latanya in the background. Really important from Curio though, found the pick onto the Lucio at the very start of the fight, which just ended it really quickly. You didn't have the speed boost, they needed to get out, push back onto the point. It's going to let him take this first corner with relative ease here, and they're not going to have to worry about the Lucio pushing him into the pit down there to say hello to any of the Omnics that are chilling down there.
Have to worry about the last bit. Probably not though. It's very difficult to get off, but this Junkrat spam now on this high ground is going to be a constant thorn in the side of No Mercy as they actually pick up a Sombra for Azalor. Tight on back here. Tomato Wato all in the front line, has that shatter, but he's going to get shattered himself. It's a nice drop the beat, but it's not really going to do all too much. Only going to count himself. A nice boot coming out from Selene and actually takes out Billy GG, and this could be the chance for a counter attack from No Mercy.
Curio immediately rezzed here. Rectangle Bob still in the sky, getting a lot of damage boost from his Mercy himself. Looking to kill on Alizor. No Mercy has picked on the McCree though. Rector, he gets the shad down, but doesn't find anyone. Curio's going to transcend out of it, and he can be picking up the kills left, right, and center. And Chimpy, like you say, being the rosy player on this team, being the fawn that kills them, and he's just going to continue to push on the point. Might just be able to contest it this last bit. Latanya is still in the skies. Easy prey though for this team, and so Timothy will pick him up, and no one's going to be able to contest it on this. Lucifer can get on point. Zoning ultimate, like you say, might find some people. Finds Lucifer as he gets teammate and a mech of their own, but it's too late as they will take this first point.
That was certainly spectacular from the side of Swansea, managing to drop all their ults there to try and close it out. And actually a very explosive series of fights coming out. Well, series of fights coming out from them. The first fight, very explosive, using a very interesting strategy to try and push this quad tank off the point and give themselves the positioning advantage, which really helped them hammer at home. Then they move through. They really kind of fall a little bit short on the streaks phase until a couple of minutes in, and then they have a really nice series of fights, finding some good attacks back and actually finally turning the tides in their favor.
Yeah, 1 minute 41. Still, it's a good time, but it is quite low on the time bank. So if Swansea can make it through to that third point, they might have a little bit of difficulty pushing this through, especially from what we've seen from Lucifer, who's been doing such a great job on defending. We'll see how he is on attack, because he does use that self-destruct very aggressively. But what they really need to watch out for here is the backline being taken out really early. Curio, finding that pick onto Lucio early on, just ended the fight for them. Nice and clean. They don't want this messy. They want to stay as a group. They want these fights to be a 6v6. They don't want targets to be taken out. They don't want to be staggered here. So they need to be extra careful, use those tanks for what they're there for, and to peel for their backline.
Attackers incoming.
They do need to slightly work on that. Perhaps that's what this pick from Azalor and No Mercy are planning to do this time. Tomato Wato yet again on this Reinhardt. We're seeing Zarya Reinhardt. I'm very excited to always see. We're going to be seeing actually full tank, quad tank come out again, even on the offense from No Mercy. Interesting to see that Rectangle Bomb is going to be on this soldier. Perhaps expecting some sort of Pharah come out from No Mercy. Not sure if they're historically known for it, but they certainly don't seem to have any inkling of running it here, as they seem to be really happy with running this quad tank.
Yeah, Chimpy was actually very good at getting his grab earlier on, so that could be what changes this fight here. Tamawai gets on the point as soon as possible. Discord Orb is going to be applied to him immediately, and Chimpy has used that shield very early on. Lucifer getting to the point in the backline, immediately de-smacked though, and Lucifer's going to be forced to back out here as Curio pops those Orbs of Destruction into the front line. You see him popping up on the kill feed as an assist all the time, but No Mercy will find the pick onto Rectangle Bob, and that's actually huge because they can just reset here, and Rectangle Bob's got a long run, but he will find the kill onto Jonty as well. Maybe it's time to go here.
Yeah, and Chimpy did a really great job at actually saving out Billy GG and making that fight not so awful. It was a really nice charge coming out, but they do now have that lack of players, and this ultimate being popped by the Moira is going to pretty much clean this up, and No Mercy take it in not too bad a time, so myself. As we go into a pause, unfortunately, like to point out that we now have to look at the ultimate economy. Unfortunately, we have had a DC from Rectangle Bob, not too far away from the ultimate, unfortunately, there, so gonna have to lose out on that. So now we have Tomato Wato, Azalor, and No Mercy on one side, on No Mercy. It's a bit of a mouthful saying No Mercy on No Mercy, but they're really close to their ultimates. And that's what we're going to be looking for going into Street's Face. They've got a lot of setup. If you can hit Azalor's Graviton Surge, you can follow up with that whole hog and just feed it right on in there. Whereas we look at Swansea, and they also have these setup ultimates, but they also have things like Jonty, with this ultimate coming out on the Moira, can actually do a lot of damage if you hit the Graviton Surge players. A little bit unfortunate they lost out on their DPS's ultimate, but that's something they're going to have to deal with. There's nothing we can really do about that.
Yeah, we are, but we do see some ultimate charges coming up from the side. No Mercy. You see Azalor with 89% on the Graviton. Curio is looking at Transcendence coming up pretty quickly though, so he's going to need to save that when the Graviton comes out. Lucifer not looking too happy on his ultimate, but Latania's just used that Coalescence, but we saw it pierced straight through the Reinhardt shield and took him down almost immediately. The fight kind of was lost to those staggered picks that came out from No Mercy. Maybe a bit of an over-aggressive play coming out from that team. Jonty and Rectangle Bob a little bit far up without those free tanks that they've got. There's no point playing like that when you've got such a defensive front line. You can just play back on the point, and that's where you need to fight it out.
We do have Rectangle Bob coming back in. Hopefully we'll get back into the swing of things right away. Just checking for our... And as we said, No Mercy are going to be taking this point. There's very few scenarios where they're going to be able to come back on and have Swansea contest. They're just going to move through to the street stage, but whether they can get these good spawns or not is very important. Jonty obviously going to be able to get that good spawn. Looks like pretty much everyone's going to be able to get that good spawn. They don't have the much in the way of ticks for No Mercy, so they're going to be able to probably hold up first corner here, which is interesting to see because we didn't actually get to see that from No Mercy's defense. Billy GG might be set up to do a really great work, but doesn't quite have that shatter in comparison to Tomato, and that's really what could win them and push them right on through the street phase.
Yeah, it's really important for Reinhardt to get this first initial clean push. So when he gets in, he'll get a lot of ultimate charge, and because Billy GG went down so early, now he has 91% on that Earth Shatter. So he's coming up on a quick push on this next one. And if you get around this nice deadly corner, it's going to be really easy for them going from there, because they have the ults to push through here, Rock. It's not like they don't have too much. And they're not being over-aggressive here, which is something you see a lot of teams make the mistake on, is go around the corner. But Tomato Wato knows that this team can just sit back here behind his shield, push it in nice and quick. Billy GG's looking for that ult, quickly falls. The Graviton goes down, and the self-destruct in the background blocks it though, not going anywhere. We'll find Lucifer's shield, and a lovely shot. It's going to deny them from doing anything with that Graviton. Lucy, another Graviton! It's back and forth here, Rock.
It certainly is, but everyone's and there are people everywhere. There's a Roadhog in the back line. Managed to take out Jonty there, as we see Lucifer getting back into that map, gonna move on forward, and they're being very aggressive with these 2-3 tanks so far. No Mercy pretty close. If you look at Azalor's ult charge at 60%, he used that like a split second ago. This is absolutely nuts. Massively high charge Daria, and doing a load of work as they drop just that coalescence there as they try and push on through. Billy GG going pretty low, but Sir Timothy managing to take out Tomato Wato will set them back. They don't have that main tank to set the paces. They also lose Lucifer.
Yeah, I don't know what's brighter, Rock. Alazor or the Coalescence. He's so high charged the majority of this game. They're going to push forward quite easily and stop this push from going any further. Rectangle Bob, really nice read onto the Reaper here, and they're not doing too much to deny him. He can just sit in the front line, pressing the triggers over and over, and they're not doing too much to get him off it. Use those Wraith forms very, very reservedly though, and that's important, especially on a Reaper. Graviton Surge comes down, Cowan goes down, so it's 2 Gravity Bombs and 2 Self-Destructs. See who's it comes out better, and Lucifers will only find 1, whereas Sir Timothy will find 2 here, and that's probably going to be quick and easy for them. Curio didn't quite have the Zenyatta rule, came off on the back end, but it's going to stop this push here, but they don't have a lot of ultimates. Looking at the Death Blossom and Billy GG's Earthshatter, so if they can use 2 in tandem there, and the Lucio ult doesn't go off in time, could spell defeat and miserableness for the side of Swansea.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nice shot coming up from BGG. Unfortunately gets blocked, and Tomato Watho follows up with an even better shatter and pretty much closes out this fight with a good charge, and that's going to be No Mercy moving on through the streets phase now. They're going to have a decent amount of time on the clock and perhaps looking to beat out the time of Swansea here.
Yeah, he has some really smart Earth Shatters though. He waits for a big laning advantage where there's only one way a team can go, and picked up both supports in that backline there. Zarya Shield came out, couldn't quite keep Lentanya up and alive, but Salonian just fell too fast and hasn't actually been able to use that sound barrier as of yet, and so Timothy's going to go into the backline now. Maybe this sound barrier can come out and do some work on this final push here, keep him alive from Rectangle Bob's Hellfire Shotguns, and there comes the Death Blossom. Solanian pops it down. No Mercy actually drags him in and stops him from doing anything. Curio's going to try and stop them with his Zenyatta ult, but doesn't really do too much, and Coalescence can be absolutely critical to keeping his team alive.
This Zarya ultimate doesn't really find too much to be Lucifer, who finds a really nice double kill with that ultimate and is going to push No Mercy on through. That was really disappointing from the side of Chimpy. Didn't actually have anyone to follow up on it. Ulted the 2 supports and kind of walked away. We're going to see some swap outs coming for Rectangle Rob. Not really feeling the Reaper too much. Going to go to this Soldier, so definitely trying to find some of those Helix off and try and blow. But actually, we see Chimpy swap onto the Reaper, but perhaps that's why. Billy GG still has this Earth Shatter, though. Definitely something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, Self-Destruct comes out here, doesn't find anyone. Really nice place shield from Alazor, they'll keep him off. What's going to be really the big thing here is the Graviton with the whole hog combo. That's going to be their win condition, but they're forced out like a pack of dogs sent running here. And Billy G's just going to charge it and make sure they're not coming back onto the point and force them back into their actual spawn here.
Really nice shots coming out. It was an absolutely brilliant shatter coming out from Billy GG yet again, and a great follow-up coming out from Chippy on this Reaper. Doing a good job so far. It's been impressive. Hasn't had a lot to show us, so still definitely judgment is reserved as Rectangle is looking to build up this tack visor.
Yeah, we do see them, No Mercy, and that grab bomb is ready to go here. So Timothy does not want to eat. Coalescence comes out here, and so does the other light show. And Billy GG is going very low, shoots it into that front line, and the whole hog comes down, but he changes his target selection onto Chimpy here to stop him getting onto the point. Rectangle Bob does pop the tack visor, going to keep him off it. Just barely misses the Earth Shatter there, and they're going to be forced out because of that. But once again, No Mercy finds that actual hook onto the Chimpy there, which is really unfortunate for him. Maybe it's time to switch off onto something that maybe in the skies like a Pharaoh here.
Yeah, but they do have this. They do have Rectangle Bob, who has been impressive so far. Definitely, maybe switch Chimpy back to that tank. I really liked having Chimpy playing that tank for the team. It was working out quite well for them in a lot of these cases. Perhaps they feel as if they don't have enough damage to chew through the tank, but we're now going to actually be seeing No Mercy swap off onto only 2-2-2. So this Junkrat could, though, be something huge. If Azalor can get to that high ground, as we saw on the previous push on the previous round, it can be absolutely devastating. As we see yet another Diva Bomb come through, will the shield be there? It does still find Latania. That's gotta hurt for No Mercy. Really unfortunate them, and Rogue Swan doing a really good job at holding. Solanian almost going down there to Rectangle Bomb. Being really impressive on the Soldier. Has this ultimate, looking for a good opportunity. What a Helix rocket! And a follow-up coming out from him, and has this ultimate now to just completely shut anyone who's trying to stay. Only 60 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, these pushes have been extremely expensive from the side of No Mercy. In their time bank, it's ticking down here. looks like a time bomb, and it's going to be up to Lucifer's very own bomb of his own with that self-destruct to end this next fight. See if he can get another huge one. Earthshatter goes down, gets immediately blocked, and a fire strike to his face. He's going to feel bad. There's no shield to block that. Will find Chippy in the skies, though. Maybe that's what he's aiming for, and if he was, that's insane. And here comes the Riptide. Going to look for Jonty here. Might find the fade, but he goes right behind his back, and he's going to be able to push this through here now.
It's going to be No Mercy rolling on forward with this tank comp, looking to at least put a time on the board. He's going to have to deal with Curio. Some nice shots coming out from No Mercy, and almost has this High Noon. High Noon can be good in these overtime situations, so definitely a good opportunity. Now has it up, looking for a way. If they can pop this D.Va, he has free reign pretty much.
Ooh, just barely grazes Rectangle Bob's head there, but the actual Earthshatter will find him as well alongside the Deadeye. Picks up the D-suit as well, and Johnny will fall off the side on accident. Oh no, this is awful for them. And Billy GG's the only one contesting this with Chimpy in the background, throwing those nades left, right, and center. Finds the flashbang, doesn't quite get him in the air, but Latania's going to pick him up with a dart to the body. And I think they will pick this up in overtime, unfortunately, though, giving them only 1 minute to spare on this next push.
But at least they managed to make it. With things were looking shaky there on the third point, especially after such a nice second point hold, naturally managing to at least delay them for a time on the first point in comparison. So definitely something to be happy that you at least got that, because they weren't looking as though they were going to get very much. It's actually going to be the side of Swansea pushing forward. Wait, yeah, Swansea will be on the offense first again. Azalor swapping back to that. Oh, interesting to see if they are going to do any of these picks, because they're on defense, so they might actually be making some of these picks. Azalor maybe going over to this Junkrat.
Yeah, and that's going to be really important, because they know that they've been playing this free tank combo, and Junkrat can shut down a Doomfist in the air, because obviously you can't actually change your aerial positioning when you use that smash with the Doomfist. So if you can get the concussion mine to him, you can really displace him, put him into the backline, and then they can pick up a kill onto him. They're looking for this quick and clean push though now, and Billy Gigi's going to try and get into the front lines. Alazor though, he's the one to look out for here. Actually pushes back onto this area that might be affecting how this goes. They're going to go straight onto the point, and Doomfist once again is going to be their issue. Lucifer is going to have to get that self-struck quick and fast, and maybe find some self-structs on the point. Otherwise, this is going to be feeling pretty bad and go to a victory on the side of Swansea.
They are staying with triple tank in it. It has worked out well for them so far in a lot of scenarios. So Rogue Swan going pretty aggressive though here. Yet again, just running right onto point. Just need one tick, so it's going to be difficult. They're going to see Kuro getting a lot of healing, moving towards the ultimate. But Rectangle Bob does have a lot of charge here, as they're looking for good opportunity. As No Mercy though does find Jonty, but Tomato going down here is going to make it really difficult, especially when you've got this ultimate from the side of Rectangle Bob finding Saladian, which is exactly what they need, as No Mercy are just getting shredded. And that looks like it's all already over as we see that D.Va bomb come out. No Mercy gonna get taken out here by Rogue Swan. Some really great plays and really good innovation coming out from them on this first point, with Rectangle Bob on that Doomfist.
Rectangle Bob's been absolutely insane. The boxer that they need in those final rounds. The time the actual bell went down, and when it dinged, he was in there and ready to go. The Meteor Strike came out, took out the supports, and forced the fade out, and then it was just a quick and easy kill onto Jonty. Onto Curio, sorry.
Some brilliant play. Moving on to shortly. Interesting to see that Tomato Wato getting a lot of damage block. Definitely understandable. They were playing a very passive, aggressive style. They were moving up forward. It was Billy who was actually playing more passive. Definitely a bit of a contrast between those two players. A lot of the time, there was a lot of damage going onto Tomato Wato, but could not find those shatters a lot of time. And I think that was a major in the way Rogue Swan actually dealt with them. Billy definitely feeling like the better main tank there, controlling the flow of the game much better. And not getting picked as much, basically. Tomato Wato oftentimes just getting taken out, and it really has to feel pretty awful, to be honest, for No Mercy when you lose your main tank and you really can't group around them properly like that. Not quite sure how they fit in as a emotional member of the team, but oftentimes when you lose that main tank, you see teams kind of crumble.
Yeah, Tomato oftentimes you saw him going to slam the hammer into the nail that was the coffin of Rogue Swan, but he just was too aggressive. And a lot of times you did see them just jump straight out the coffin, like you see in that Reaper highlight intro, and just take him down. So it was pretty unfortunate for him a lot of time. Maybe needs to change up his playstyle, be a little bit more reserved. Although he was finding those Earth Shadows towards the end, Billy GG became a little bit wise to it, keeping his shield up a lot more of the time when letting his DPSs do a lot of the work. And Rectangle Ball really showed up there. And it's good that they can trust their team members in that kind of way.
Mm-hmm. Certainly is. Some great team play coming out from them. And definitely Jonty. Normally you don't highlight a lot of those sports, but was absolutely fantastic on the Moira, that's the word. Oftentimes generating ult, just it's a little bit of a small time difference, for example, for Moira, because you charge so quickly on Moira, because she can get all that healing in these quad tank, triple tank comps, but was oftentimes just finding more ult charge than we saw come out from the side of No Mercy. I think it was Latanya playing it. Oftentimes, just not really finding enough. And Jonty was dropping these ultimates left, right, and center, and finding damage, healing, and whatever the team needed at the time. Oftentimes using it to follow up from a shatter, and it really worked quite well for them.
Yeah, you did see Jonty actually throwing out a lot more healing orbs than Latanya, and that's really important. I mean, it's good to build up that ult charge earlier on with the damaging orb, but that healing orb does 300 damage, 300 total healing, and that's huge over so many tank players. And if you can get that on the point, it makes it so difficult. She is one of those healers which can just bring out a huge burst of healing, and it will really take you by surprise on point. And we saw that on that very last push, is that when they went onto it, you just saw Jonty pull out the coalescence, pull out his healing orbs, and they just wouldn't die on point. And Rogue Swan just became that immortal beast that you couldn't just push off it.
Mm-hmm. But that was exactly what we saw Rogue Swan actually do to No Mercy in the first point. On the first round, first push of the point on first round. So they ran this Doomfist, and they literally just moved No Mercy off. It was absolutely insane, and really something that I found quite exciting. You don't often see a lot of Doomfist being picked. They really made it work. I was really impressed with how it wasn't just that one-shot potential. They did utilize the one-shot potential pretty well. They also used the rest of his kit to great effect, and just muscled their way onto the point. And once you have that advantage in terms of positioning, it's actually very difficult for the defense, if they're stuck behind the point, to actually move back on. They don't have any cover. They don't have to go. They have to move towards the point, obviously, to stop you. It's not like you can just sit there and focus on that, or perhaps fall a little bit back, get some cover, sit behind the shield. And we saw at the start of that, when the kills started to come in, Tomato got picked, and that was pretty much the end of it. Even though I think it was I can't quite remember who was playing I think it was No Mercy playing the Roadhog. Found a pick onto one of the Rogue Swan members. Can't quite remember who, but then instantly we saw Tomato go down and the floodgates opened and Rogue Swan just absolutely smashed the point.
Yeah. We can go to a break here. I think we're going to take a quick one before we get into this next game. I think the teams are just deciding what to do in this next case, what map they're going to go on to. But we're going to see a next high-octane game between No Mercy and Rogue Swan, because both teams are pretty equally matched here, and it could swing either way.
like you mean it, even if you don't. I need to feel something, feel something. I need to feel something, feel something. 'Cause I'm all alone. Like powder from a gun, you shot me, I'm the one. But I can't take this anymore, so watch me walk out that door. This bed is filled with bodies, no emotion inside. And I feel nothing, though we're lying side by side. Kiss me like you mean it, even if you don't. I need to feel something, feel something. I need to feel something, feel something. 'Cause I'm all alone. Yeah, I'm all alone.
Houston, if you're ready, we'll maneuver. Reaching out.
Rainbow Road.
There is no place and no moment in history where I could stand and say, Overwatch begins here, now.
inside, inside out, inside, inside, upside down, inside, inside, inside out, inside, inside, inside out. Inside, inside, inside out, inside, inside out, out, inside, inside, inside out, inside, inside, upside down, inside, inside, inside out, inside, inside out, out, inside, inside, inside out, inside, upside down. Inside, inside out. Inside, inside, inside out. Inside out, 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 inside, upside down.
Hello and welcome back. We're going to be going to our second series of the night. This time we will be going from game one, luckily. We're going to be having NACL versus the side of Fusion Waiting Room, which is Newcastle versus Durham. We're going to be going to the first map. We've actually got three King of the Hills for you, but our first will be Lijiang, and Lijiang, as always, looking spectacular tonight.
Indeed. So today we really will find out who's the king of the hill. Will it be Durham or will it be Newcastle? Let's find out in the matches upcoming. We're going to see some picks here. Can never be too sure when we're on this starting bit. We're coming down to 10 seconds though, so we'll go from there. So we're sticking on the side of Durham. They're going to be pulling up a Mopin on the Farah, moping around in the skies. You're going to be St. Fox on the Soldier, and got a Kate C on the Roadhog with Reinhardt in the front to stop any incoming damage from the enemy team, which is going to be pretty good against Spicy Raisu, who's going to be throwing those shurikens, but not doing too much against a big fusion shield.
Certainly won't, but it is interesting to see teams move back towards, again, that Mercy. A lot of teams do still run it because they've still got a player who very much specializes in it, and it definitely works well with the Farah here. I'm surprised, however, to see Spicy not on this Farah, and perhaps the team not moving towards it, feeling maybe that they need to deal with more larger tank compositions, where they're actually going against 2-2-2.
Yeah, indeed. It's going to be difficult, Spicy Rice, so that unless he has some aerial mortars he can pull out the pocket to deal with that Farah in the sky. But they immediately get onto point, and that is what the Lucio is for, people. Speed and boost you all the way onto it. So they're going to be keeping this nice and healthy. Mopi is taking a bit of damage from the decay coming out from the Moira, which is going to push him off the point here. So as long as you can keep harassing her in the skies, that's going to be pretty good for the side of Newcastle. And they're going to stay on the point here. Nickel Sheep's going pretty low, but he does have to take a breather to keep him nice and healthy here. Delusional taking a little bit of damage, though. We'll use that Zarya shield to keep himself alive, and Shofox will jump into the front straight away. St. Fox in a little bit too close for comfort. Will dodge out the way of jumper cables there. Barrage is already out, though. Won't find too many people. Will get Nickel Sheep in the background before Calico can pick up jumper cables. But this fight going pretty convincingly in the favor of Durham.
At least Newcastle got that little bit of time on the board before we saw Mopin with a really quick ult charge and dropping it straight away actually take the fight with that, using it very much to their advantage, whereas we saw not too much in the way of value, ultimate value coming out from Newcastle. Didn't actually get any of it on the board, as we actually see Spicy and Gatronics swap onto that pharmacy.
Yeah, so this is pretty important for them right now because they need to get that Farah out of the sky. They can't have nothing not good in it. And Calico is going to put the coalescence here, so he's got to decide, will he laser the Farah down in the sky or use it on his team? But that is the decision he's made, but Spicy Rice will pick up the kill onto Monkfish straight away. So they can't speed him on the point, but that res is going to get him up nice and quick. Spicy Rice who continue to throw down the rockets, but St. Fox with that attack visor will find Gatronics, and that's a really big pick. I'm just going to let them retake this straight away. Oh god, Newcastle, you got to stay on the point a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, they do at least manage to take the point every time they make a push, but not quite so adept at taking it, and definitely some really good returning fire coming out from the side of Durham. Interesting to see that Delusional was a little bit caught out there, was split off from the rest of the team. Is going to have to try and remedy that if they're going to push on here. Hasn't even found their first ultimate. Perhaps a little bit okay because you are that Zarya, but when you get picked like that by Mopin, and Mopin doesn't even get picked back for it, and Katie can just walk on in, this is feeling really awkward for the side of Newcastle as we see Gatronics even get staggered.
Yeah, it's very messy. Newcastle keep getting staggered there, like you say, and Farah's on the left side. Position herself very well is Mopin right now. Will take a smack to the face by a fire strike, which is the last thing you think that get hit on a Farah, though. And Spicy Rice is going to have to pick up the game here. Doesn't quite have the ultimate yet, 30% off, and Nickel Sheep's going to have to use this whole hog very defensively, possibly on this upcoming fight, because Casey and Monkfish have both got the Lucio and the whole hog here ready to go in. But Gatronics will get picked off straight away, and it's going to begin this next fight with a big Earth Shatter.
That's a nice return Earth Shatter, though, coming out from the side of Durham. We're going to see the ultimate come out yet again from St. Fox. Doesn't really find too much. Spicy managing to find a lot of damage, but yet again, Mopin is there to shut him down, and Nickel Sheep can find very little. They at least managed to take it over, keeping it 3 for 3, but 33% to 95 doesn't feel so good for the side of NACL. But they look like they might actually hold this for at least a decent amount of time here, as they start to get players move back into the point. As the ultimate is actually dropped from Monkfish, and they're going to run right onto this point. Need to watch out. Mopin still has that ultimate. It's something that's been so devastating in these fights so far.
Ooh, a triple kill from the skies, but Spicy Raisu will pick up the stationary Farret in the air, and will continue to pick up Saint Fox straight away, but a res onto Nickel Sheep is going to reinvigorate this fight here. Jumper cables will get hooked, but won't go down quite yet, but the Farret is still in the skies, looking to kill onto Wolfman now, because he's important. A nice direct hit onto the face will pull him out of the skies there before he can get to any more. Casey is doing the work on the point. Jumper cables doing an awesome job, keeping his shield up, keeping his Lucio alive, and that healing keep on coming. Nice and rosy face for his entire team there. Saint Fox doing his best, try to take Spicy Raisu out of the sky, doesn't quite get him, but Mopin's come in to clean up the job, and once again finds him in the skies with that lovely place rocket, and the whole hog is going to finish that one off.
Showbox does have this ultimate to try and stall things out, looking for those boost kills, but it's getting hooked, getting pushed around, and that's quite the damaging Roadhog. They at least keep control of this. They're at 95%. They're even. What is happening here? Newcastle managing to try and bring it back in the store as they actually are doing so much work. They pick off each of these supports, and it's looking great for Newcastle. Even that shatter cannot stop them, as Showbox on this Winston is looking phenomenal. Wow.
Newcastle, the point thieves. Take the point when you're not looking, and then take the game.
That was completely out of nowhere. I mean, I'm slightly biased towards Newcastle, but I certainly did not expect them to win that. That was such a brilliant performance coming out from the side of Durham, but then it all just seemed to hit the fire, and it started sizzling, and it boiled right on over and went in the way of Newcastle.
Yep, Spicy Raisu definitely been a little bit spicy, like you say. The heat was brought on as he threw those nice rockets down. Found some kills on him. Mopin definitely been a little bit better Farah though in this case, but the team is all in all been very cohesive, very tight unit, and they stay on the point, so that's good. Saint Fox needs to maybe do a little bit more damage onto the Farah in the sky, but Spicy Raisu, although not finding all the kills, his positioning is pretty damn good. Concussion going down, won't find anyone though, a little bit misplaced, and Calico actually gets pulled in again, but a nice Diva Matrix actually stops from doing too much damage here. They're on the corner, so a nice opportunity for a boot, but that will end them as the displacement to the side. Casey finally killing the Nickel Sheep though. Backline doing not too bad, staying back there. Delusional getting pulled off, but Showbox will come to peel now. And Katronic staying pretty high, and Spicy Risu falling there. Will lend the point quickly over to the side of Durham. But we'll see if Newcastle can thieve it from them once again and end this point.
It hasn't really felt so great for Newcastle. They couldn't get on the point. They weren't able to take the fights that they really wanted. They were often kept at arm's reach. And that's just a testament to how good these DPSs have been from the side of Durham. Constantly finding damage. We see Spicy go low there, and Gutronics is just having to hop around everywhere, trying to keep people topped up. Finding a little bit of time to find damage, but it's gonna take a little bit to the face there. Really needs to be careful. Has been taking shots, and we're gonna see that ultimate come out from Saint Fox. Really needs to be worried now as Saint Fox just cleans on up and completely shuts down this. Not quite sure that they needed to invest that ultimate from Mopin, but at least they won the fight.
Well, really actually well played there from the side of Saint Fox. Allowed them to come in and knew they only needed one ultimate to pull this up. And as soon as Spicy Rice and Gatronics got into a position where they couldn't escape, then that's when he popped the tank visor, which is a very, very smart play. And as soon as he knew that he couldn't get the Spicy Rice, he was around this little block in the middle, just switched his target. So his actual target selection has been very strong so far on this particular map. So we'll have to see how he pulls up on the next one on Control Center. So this is going pretty well here. Junker Cable's in the front, keeping that shield up, but the laser cannon will go down. Tesla doing a lot of damage. Nickel Sheep pushing in. Not too aggressive, but maybe that's a bit too far in case he's going to blast that shotgun into that mech in the backline. Nice delusional Deadeye pick onto Saint Fox. There's nothing in this guy, but Mopin doesn't care. He will be the hit scan they need to take out Spicy Rice.
Showbox is doing a lot of work here on this Winston, almost finding, well, actually, gonna find the soldier here alongside Nickel Sheep, and this could be an opportunity for them. There's only a couple of players left alive, and they haven't got a lot of health between them, especially since they're so squishy, but there's gonna be that ultimate coming out from the side of Mopin. Didn't really find anything this time, did find Nickel Sheep's mech, but it's gonna be a little bit awkward. Delusional managing to find Wolfman, but gonna go down straight away. It's looking like Fusion are gonna take this here. Durham looking pretty strong, but there's gonna be a Transcendence coming out from Calico, and this could be an opportunity to turn it around.
actually let Delusional get res there, so no punishment for the res that came out. Shobox continues to push the Tesla cannon to the back, and he will be roasted alive there inside that very hot metal suit that Reinhardt has to wear at all times. That was really well played from him. But yeah, Shobox just stayed on the point, and Calicut a very well timed Transcendence. Didn't use it to get onto a point, knew he had enough time to get around the corner and make best practical use out of the Transcendence, letting it stay up for just that little while longer that they needed to pressure Mopin in the skies there.
Certainly, it's pretty fantastic. Mopin has been pretty uncontested this entire time. Delusional has found a couple of shots, but only in the close quarters situations. Oftentimes, it's people like Shovok doing a lot of damage and forcing him into bad situations. That's a good opportunity for Saint, but he is blocked off. Again, a great shield. But we're going to see Mopin actually get picked off, and Calica with a brilliant headshot to take out Saint Fox. This is going to be Fusion beaten right back to the drawing board.
Shovox, you madman, jumped in there and slammed them off the side, and nothing could do as Gatronics just fell to his doom, and the Deadeye actually popped out there. Maybe a little bit of a mistake. I mean, you can use it to reload. It does get you 6 more bullets in the magazine, but I think there's a bit of an expensive reload you used there, dude. So we'll have to see how he uses this next fight, and he really did actually need that to get Mopin out of the skies. But Junker Cables will be smacked off to his doom and falls down the pit there as Showfox just shows a little bit of intimidation play as he jumps in front of the screen, shows his face a little bit, and then backs out.
Yeah, I mean, Fusion Waiting, so Fusion Waiting Room have been pretty in control of both maps so far at the start, but in the end, it just seems that Newcastle can edge it out. Open, gonna be looking for a good flank here, but they know he's there. The damage beam does give him away, and actually he's taking a lot of damage from Delusional. Needs to be careful. Finding a good few shots though.
Yeah, they were split off for a little while. Maybe that was time to go, but Primal Rage does go down, and he's pounding upon the team. Barrage comes down. A Spicy Rice who gets him in there with a counter barrage. That's really good there. Ketsi is staying on the point. St. Fox is currently applied with this board up, which is really good. Going to be the damage they need to get on point. He is low, gets healed up though, and he is continuing to use that attack fire as damage on point. Gets flashbang, still alive though. The healing is monstrous on this point right now, and Mopin comes back on. Gatronics gets another nice res onto Delusional. That's the second time, but he has the Deadeye now. But we'll get hooked in and denied. That's really bad for this team, and Shopify is going to have to really step up to the plate here to get them off the point with that Tesla cannon. He's continuing to push it into the front, but maybe taking a little bit too damage here. Gatronics in the sky do have him staying around the back though. Spicy Rice is coming back as soon as possible. Nickel Sheep does have actually the self-destruct, going to use it to keep him off the point for as long as possible. Goes down here. They need to get rid of this Winston shield if he can do any damage, but won't find anyone. And Monkfish continues to be a nuisance in the backline, but Shovak, another Primal Rage, is doing the damage they need, but Mopin is doing work here. Can they find a Nickel Sheep? Needs to focus on it in the skies. Will go up to him now, but Wolfman is taking a lot of damage and forced off the point, and it's just Monkfish and Mopin doing the work, but it's giving the time for Durham to get back onto the point here.
Nickel Sheep, such a brilliant player, doing really great job on this Diva, and actually gonna give them a chance to hold in on out here. It was looking awful for them as soon as we saw Gatronics getting picked, but just brilliant kills in return coming out. We're gonna see some reses, and that's the ultimate coming out from Spicy Rice. Pretty much gonna close this out. That's gonna be overtime taking over, and that's gonna be Lee Chang going over to NACL after some very awkward starts to these maps, and wow.
The thieves, the burglars of the point that are Newcastle, they've done such a great job. We saw Mopin doing such an amazing work on that Pharaoh, but it wasn't enough. We see this lovely flank from this side. Does finally get hit down, but Casey will pick him up. You see this damage, like the way he actually uses projectiles is so good. Like, look how well his air placement is. It's gonna be a little bit more difficult for them when they go onto this next map, unless they can use Mopin to great effect once again. If we do have Oasis, that would be really good. But you got to look out for Shovox, 26 elimination kills on the objective. He's doing an amazing job just to be that bouncer that they need to check the IDs as they come in and stop them from getting anywhere near his club.
Yeah, his club certainly looking pretty good so far. Got some banging tunes, some brilliant players, and Gatronics really doing a good job on that Mercy, feeling the flow of the game when they can get that res out. We saw Spicy on that Farah doing a lot of damage, finding picks. Delusional going back to his DPS roots, playing that McCree, looking absolutely fantastic on it. Really impressed with that. Excited to see it again. And Nickel Sheep, as I highlighted prior, was doing a great job on that Diva, taking out Mopin, forcing off Wolfman. It depends on the situation. They were just doing a great job. Calica, again, on that support, really managing to push her, be on different picks and really making it work depending on what they need for the team.
Yeah, a lot of the time we did see Mopen picking up the kills, but they were very, very much towards the end of the fight, Rock, rather than towards the beginning. So the cleanup wasn't there. He didn't have the cleanup they needed, and then he didn't have the rest of his team to keep him alive there to finish the push off, so to speak. Newcastle, they stick on point, they stay on point. Like, it's very difficult to get on with him, and letting Gatronics get so many of those Mercy reses of really just put it a lot in the favor of Newcastle. They cannot let Gatronics just roam free anymore. They have to shut him down before he does anything. So we'll see if he picks up Mercy on Ilios, but most likely we're going to see a Moira Lucio combo, throwing people into the pit as per usual. And on this map, hopefully I'm looking at a Widowmaker on Ruins. Really interesting to see. Do see Fletter do it a lot in the Overwatch League, and gets a lot of picks, but we'll see how they play out on this next map.
That's something really interesting to point out. Gatronics is generally a Lucio player, can play that Mercy, obviously, doing pretty well. The thing is about Newcastle is they don't really... Sometimes we see Spicy go onto that Widow. It's not a pick I really like from him. I think he does okay on it, but it's not exactly the desired thing to see from me. I think they want to go with larger tank comps, and I think it'll work quite well for them, at least on this map, because they won't get picked by the Widow that could possibly be coming out. Actually looking like perhaps we'll see Mopen again on that Pharah, though, here. We might be having a restart, as far as I'm aware. Yeah. We've got some people lagging out a little bit. They're just going to restart, and then they'll be right back with us, and we'll be right back into the game.
So what you hoping to look here, Rock?
I want to see... I mean, a lot of people don't wish for it, but I want to see Quad Tank... we might be getting back into it quicker than we thought. I want to see Quad Tank coming for the side of Newcastle. They are good at it, to be honest with you. They work quite well with that Moira Lucio. Perhaps we'll see a return Pharah come out from Spicy Rescue. That's definitely something interesting. I think Mopen back in this Pharah is not a bad pick. And if St. Fox can play the Widow, I definitely want to see that.
Indeed, picking up this killed left, right, and center is really well played, and we're going to see both Pharah and Mercy, so a lot of aerial combat's going to go down, but that's going to give St. Fox a lot of free room to aim up and pick the Mercy out the sky. So, like I was saying last map, cannot let Gatronics just roam free on this map, and if St. Fox can find the picks onto him in the air, it's going to be really, really difficult for him to actually find the reses where he needs to, and when he's stationary like that, it's really easy just to pull up your scope and just headshot him. It's just clicking on heads, guys.
Yeah, just click on the head. Of course, it's not quite that easy. It's very hard to hit that flying target, and it's going to be up to St. Fox to prove that they can. Delusional on the other side, trying to do the same. It's going to be a bit of a battle of the wits as they try to, just do a little bit of that pigeon shooting. St. Fox can't quite find those opening shots, but, still has a lot of time to make up for it.
Yeah, we do see Delusional pick up the McCree here. Had it on the last map, so that Deadeye is going to come very in handy. St. Fox is in the background, though, but they're sticking very firmly behind these pillars, and Shobox is going to go quickly for the flank there. Looks like Wolfman can't actually quite get to him, but he's in a bad position right now as the rest of Durham flood onto the point. Nicholsheep already desuited, though, but Calico will find the kill onto jumper cables pretty quickly. Can't let him get rezzed up now because that shield is going to be a big problem, but more and more members from the side of Newcastle will fall here, and it's only Delusional and the two supports left alive. Can he find any more kills? No. And Gatronics goes down, and there we go. There we see it. Goes down. He's stationary. St. Fox sees him, and he's gone. Popped out of the gun.
Can I just point out, St. Fox has been absolutely popping off. Got dived by the Winston of Showfox, which we know is no slouch. Managed to kite back, kill the Winston, come up, and then just like headshot 2 or 3 people, killing them outright. What a fantastic line of play. Certainly one that don't necessarily expect at this level, but certainly St. Fox showing it can rise above and beyond and finding shots already, looking hungry for those picks.
Yeah, a little bit further up there, but now he's going to be going back. Riptide comes out, might find a few, does find Delusional as he just looks it, Deadeye in the face, and Gatronic's going to pick him up there, though, straight away. They need to find this St. Fox in the background there because he's making so much space for his team right now. Cannot let him continue. 82% on Showbox's ultimate, though, so he's going to have Primal Rage soon to be a bit of a nuisance in the background. Nicholsheep is going very low here. Calico might be forced to use Transcendence in this upcoming fight as Spicy Rice who goes on the side. He is half, and Gatronics is doing his best with that Valkyrie to keep them alive. Here we go. Calico drops the ultimate as St. Fox goes down, and Deadeye actually picks a Monfish. That's going to be really good for this push, and they might be able to quickly stay on the point, unless Catty has something to say about it, which he doesn't, as he's quickly silenced on the point.
bit of a short sentence. Unfortunately, that was a lot of ults invested by Newcastle. And if you give the side of Durham a little bit of time, though with Mopin switching off and back towards that pharmacy, they are still going to be about even in terms of ultimates if we see perhaps Gatronics generate that pretty quickly.
Yeah, Nickel Sheep is going to be looking to use this self-destruct pretty defensively in this upcoming fight, because they have Spicy Raisu and Shovox, who both have these aggressive ultimates, so they really need to save that Nickel Sheep for when things start to go south. Nickel Sheep gets pulled in, and Jumper Gables will find a really good shadow in the background, and the Genji Dragon Blade is pulled out as a response to that, but Mopin is in the skies, raining down the hell from above, and Nickel Sheep drops the ultimate. That's all their ultimates off the bag, and Shovox didn't use his Primal Rage, and that's all they had. That was a really expensive defense. For what? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing, unfortunately. For the side of Newcastle, definitely going to have to come back here. Already down on percent, looking dire for them. But they've done it before. They have been in this position, and, you know, even worse positions, they can make a comeback. And if there's a team that I would be looking to, it's certainly them with the performance they've just shown us.
Yeah, but it's looking as it's counting down. We're going up to 90% here, so this could be the final fight. But if St. Fox can find Delusion in the background there, that's going to be pushing this fight back another couple percent. But they're forced to go on. They can't let this go on any longer. Shovox does find St. Fox. That's a good start. But the barrage comes out. We'll find Shovox. And Spicy Rifle will pick him out of the sky as he's stationary. But Wolfman will get him straight up again. And he's going to be staying on the point. There's not much they can do here. Spicy Rifle is certainly not a vanguard He's using the SMG like he is some sort of frontline DPS, but he get forced into the corner by Atsy and his whole hog, and it's not looking great for the side of Newcastle here.
Say that, they managed to find Jumper Cables, and Katie not looking so hot in terms of health. We see that ultimate come out from Calica to try and keep the Dreams alive. We have Morphman here to try and deny them completely as St. Fox finding Calica just comes out of the trans. Looking absolutely fantastic on this Widow. Definitely a force to be reckoned with as Katie is sticking on that point. It doesn't seem like Newcastle can move. The immovable object that is Katie as the hook just brings them right back to him. Finding so much damage, and Nickel Sheep's gonna go down here in a second, and this is looking like they're gonna clean it on up. Fusion waiting room. Not gonna have to wait too much to get to the next round.
St. Fox definitely in contention with the side of Newcastle, not letting them get in at all, disagreeing with any push that they tried to bring out there, but they just didn't focus him too much. I mean, they had the Winston, they had the D.Va. All they need to say is backline DPS, just stay back a little bit, and we'll go and we'll pick up the Widow, and then we'll leave. Because all they need to do is they need to get Nickel Sheep, boost onto him, then use his grapple, Shovox just brings it up with the leap, and that's it. The boosters are that's what it's there for. You've got to force out the grapple, and then she's just a sitting duck, and then she's dead in the waters. That's what you need to do on these points. You cannot let a Widow just continue to fire onto your backline. The Winston shields were good, they were well placed, but once they went down, that was it. The scope went down, and she was ready to dome people.
Dome she did, finding Calica many a time, and Delusional as well couldn't escape the wrath. Perhaps he's a little bit bold under there. Is Delusional underneath that hat for McCree. Oh, a nice hook! Casey managing to find the pick there on Spicy Rice, and that's a big opportunity for them. Calica finding the return pick. St. Fox not living very long against him. Calica being an impressive Zenyatta pretty much all season long, but it's going to be some great support kills. Supports are doing all the work for Newcastle here.
Yeah, they are. Gatronics has been really well played here, but they're not doing too much about it as the rest of the team fall. These DPS, they got to pick up the slack here. Spicy Rice is in the back, going to be forced to retreat.
Generally, Fusion waiting room definitely getting a lot more value out of theirs. Spicy and Delusional struggling here to try and shut down Mopin. They did manage to take him out, but didn't really convert that into anything else. And even then, it was like close to the end of the fight. Definitely some brilliant support play coming out on both sides. Wolfman has been really good on this Mercy. Was playing on the last map, and you know, generally, if you get that Winston to jump on you on a Mercy, it's really hard to get anything working. Shovox actually jumping on him here. Gonna have to leave that for a second. We're gonna see him find a boot, but the rest of his team is falling yet again. Mopin finding so much damage, and yet again uncontested in the sky, even with double hit scan. No one is doing anything to this beautiful little pigeon. As St. Fox does take out Nickel Sheep and actually managed to find Shovox and gonna push them right off the point. There's nothing that NACL seems to be able to do.
Mopin really doing well here. The positioning from his side is absolutely phenomenal. Always in a position where Spicy Rice, who can't quite touch him. And whenever he does pepper him, he gets out of the way and those bullets become useless. So Delusional is going to have to be picking up the slack here. They do 2 hit scans. Why is Mopin not dead more? But Catesy and Jumper Cable's doing a great job to stay on point, but Shovox is the one really showing up right now. He is the one who is gluing this team back together, and he needs to stay on point a little bit more, and his team just need to back him up. Spicy Rice maybe needs to come down from that high ground. Even though it's so great for Soldier, he needs to help out Shovox. And that Bartic field, they can drop down, maybe the key knees, but Monkfish will get picked up by a sound wave, which will dominate and take him out there, and St. Fox quickly picks up Gatronics, and they're going to be forced to back out now.
Bomb does find Monkfish, but not sure if you really want to invest it there. You see Nippership really struggling. They need to get on this point now, and they're just getting torn through. Wolfman gonna die there, unfortunately. Jumpy is going pretty low. This might be the fight that they need as they're starting to fill up the leaderboard, but St. Fox doing such a great job on this Tracer until they're picked up. Good shots from Nippership.
Bunny Blaster or dual pulse pistols? Apparently Bunny Blaster wins. I don't know why, it doesn't make sense, but there you go.
Sometimes, you know, life just works out the way as Nippership is trying to regen that suit, looking for an opportunity to find any shots they can, as they're 80% now, but NACL finally managing to find a point take here. They haven't done it yet on this map, and it's 98%. That's a beautiful ultimate from Delusional. Wow, managing to take out 2 of those pretty important players as they try to muscle on anyway with these tanks. There's no res coming out from the side of Wolfman's Mercy for this fight, and they're just going to get reset. Great job from the side of NACL in holding that point, starting to look like they can actually hold out here. They have
nice
made
communication from Shovox there, though. Actually went to use the Reinhardt shield and knew that Delusional had the ultimate, pulled it up, and he dropped the Deadeye, and there was nothing they could do to stop him because Shovox is just going to block all those damaging rockets that are coming from above. And St. Fox actually will pick up here, gets rezzed once again, but they're in on the fight right now. Shatter goes down, doesn't find too much, but Munchkin is in the background, going to take a lot of damage from Spicy Raisu, but it cleans out the side of Newcastle.
Yeah, there's very few players left. It's just Spicy, and I think that's it, to be honest with you. As Spicy goes down here, it's not looking good for Newcastle. 98% on the board. Overtime is ticking over, and I don't think they're going to be able to make it back. And it's now 1-1 in terms of map score. This is looking like one hell of a heated match.
An intense last game. Who will be the king of the hill? Let's find out when this next game comes through. But really well played from Durham. They've managed to get that first point, and then they took the second, and Mopin finally be able to do a lot on this Pharah right now. And you know what? Next game probably pick up again. I'd suggest it. Doing so good on it. The target selection is amazing, always in the back line, picking up the right targets. Doesn't focus too much on Shovox, knows that by focusing too much time on him, he's just gonna like deny you and nullify anything you do. So really good target selection coming out from him right now.
I believe the next snap is Oasis, if I'm correct. Certainly a situation where you can have that quad tank work. Relatively exciting for what you can see from quad tank. Interested to see if we will be seeing that far again. It has worked out very well from Open so far. Fusion waiting room, not really taking too kindly to that comp, doing pretty well against it as well. So managing to pump out a lot of the damage that's really needed. We're going to be getting right into game. Everyone seems to be ready. And as I was going to say earlier, really, I'd like to big up Wolfman playing as Mercy. Done a really good job and basically just not dying. That is your job as a Mercy, to just not die. Get all that healing out. It's relatively easy to do that, but not dying is the hard part. And every single time Showbox has died, just managed to Guardian Angel away, or the communication with the team in order to peel back for them has worked out super well for them. And Fusion Waiting Room really paying attention to their supports, and they have good players in those roles.
Yeah, so we are going to see quickly Delusional picks up the actual hit soldier, and Nickel Sheep's going to pick up McCree as well. So it's double hit scan. They're already ready for Mopin in the skies. Calico's actually going to pick up onto the Zenyatta, so he's going to even more help with Pharah in the sky right now. So they've got all the hit scan they need, and they have the Discord orb. So if they can't deal with Mopin now, I don't know what to say. They really need to step up the game.
Operation Screw Pharah. They really don't like it. Unlikely we're going to see St. Fox on this Bastion. Will they actually run it? No, sorry, we're still preparing to attack. Sorry, I thought that was the countdown for the game starting? No. We will be seeing probably some swaps come out. St. Fox and Wolfman, and obviously Monkfish going to swap over. Catesy and Jumper Cables and Mopin, though. Definitely expecting to see that. I'm expecting to see Wolfman go back to that Mercy. Has worked really well for them. And St. Fox on this Tracer, it felt... it was very swingy. There were times where I looked at St. Fox on this Tracer and went, that's not the kind of pick that's working out for you. And then there were other times where they got like 3 picks in a row, and it certainly looked fantastic.
Well, here we go, though. This is the last map and the last chance. They got to make this work now as they push on the point. Quick wrap around, and Mopin finds Nickel Sheep. Oh my god, it's going to be up to Delusional to find him in the skies, but he's by himself. Discord Orb is on already, and the Tesla Cannon is the one that's going to find him instead. Spicy Raisu flying around here. Shotbox will be picked up again, and they're going to be forced to back out here. Spicy Raisu not in a great position either. It might go down, but won't find anyone at all. Delusional back in this one.
That's a nice stall coming out from opening. If that isn't making it work, I don't know what is. This Fusion Waiting Room doing a really great job at taking that first point. Delusional, still, we're seeing double hit scan and a Zenyatta come out, and they still can't deal with Mopin. This is seeming like a bit of a sore spot for NACL. Aren't really dealing with Mopin. That's been the story of these past 2 games.
Indeed, if you don't do a Mopin, then he's definitely not doing any Mopin himself as he puts down the pain onto Newcastle right now. Nickelback needs to stay back now, right now. So Tesla kind of goes down. But in the background, we do see the Pulse Bomb go onto Gatronics, and that's going to be a lot of healing. Removed and nullified from the side of Newcastle. Primal Rage goes out, and they let the res go off onto Mopin. They're going to have to deal with him all over again as Mirage comes down. Finally finds him. Calico doing the big work now. Jumper Cable's actually just going to be swinging around and getting that hammer in. So... all in all, they got rid of Mopin in the skies, but the rest of the team, they just followed up. This is looking difficult. They need to make it faster, and things need to go down quicker.
That's really unfortunate, though, because if Shovox hadn't SD'd off the edge, just when he was doing his jumping for his ultimate, that would have been a great fight for them. They could have jumped back on, we would still have that numbers advantage, and it would look absolutely fantastic. But because of that jump, because the ultimate only really managed to kill 1, it feels really awkward for them, and they just lose out there. They still have a lot of ultimates charging though, but we see already Fusion waiting with their ultimates. Still have the shatter on jump tables.
Delusional looking at that attack visor very, very soon. Going to use it nice and well. Self-destruct goes down, doesn't find anyone. Same Vice going to find Nickel Sheep once again. He's dying too much here, and it looks like Calico's going to have to do his best. Goes on point with the Transcendence, keeping Spicy Raisu alive, and Showbox is forced to stay on the top side as he's not getting too much healing. Tesla Cannon back in the mix, but Mopin is getting so much damage boost, and Casey comes around the side, speeding round there, and he's using the whole hog. It's going to find a lot of kills. Wolfman has been so integral on this entire game. Pulls up Jumper Cables once again, able to smack Spicy Raisu off this point. He has been smack-tastic so far, and they're just going to win this nice and clean. 0% Newcastle, 100% Durham.
Durham certainly on a roll. They were struggling on the first map, just barely. Newcastle stealing points, as you said, as you highlighted, in fact. From under their noses, but then in the second game it started to very much go their way. Some very dominant points, and now it seems like we're continuing that trend. Can Newcastle bucket and come back here, or will they be stuck in the gutter?
Indeed, will they go any further, and will they meet any clowns on their way? Let's hope not. And Mopin's going to be in the skies once again. What a surprise. And Monkfish is going to be on that Lucio, getting to the point as soon as possible. Calico has switched off the Zenyatta now onto Lucio as well. See if they get any boops on the side. Delusional is going to pick up Farah now, which is an interesting pick. Can use that shield on Nickel Sheep, actually, to keep him alive from the rockets that come down. And all in all, it's a good way to build up that charge on Zarya. And you can actually find Mopin in the skies if he's close enough to the ground, and will fall pretty quickly to a high charge Zarya. Showbox in a hammer battle. Having a bad time there. St. Fox will get too close to him and recall. This is the time when they need to go on the Tracer now, because she's got no recall. She's not got too much defensive capabilities. And Calico's in the background. St. Fox doing a lot of work there. Will pressure this team, and is going to pressure Mercy as well as Nickel Sheep. Tries to get the flashbang, but he's too fast for him. And they're going to stay on point. Nickel Sheep does find Mopin though, and this big charge finds a lot of them. Will get Jumper Cables out of the sky, and Wolfman's just forced to watch. Might be able to get the res off though. They're not going to actually contest him at all. He's going to get it off. Spicy Raisu trying to put down the pain with those rockets, and Calico will find a shotgun in those dark corners.
I mean, Spicy Raisu's been finding a lot of damage, but has been really struggling to finish out these kills, especially with these tanks down here. That's a good hook, and Spicy Raisu is going to be sent to their doom as the point keeps ticking in favor of Durham as Casey is moving towards that ultimate. Saint Fox not too far off on Mopin, and Jumper Cable is going to be joining the party soon as they have 4 ultimates up in Newcastle. Don't quite have more than 2.
Newcastle's resolve is cracking just like Shovox's shield, but the shatter goes down and that could be big. Ling and his team actually deal with the rest as he deals with Casey on the side. That was really smart. Nickelship picks out the triple. That is really monumental and it's going to be great for this next push. 30% on the side of Durham. Will they be able to take this? Will they be able to burgle the point once again?
That was 3 ultimates used, and pretty much 3 ultimates used apiece. We're now going to be seeing Delusional coming up on that ultimate, and it's going to be Delusional, Calico, and Spicy Rice. That's a good combo, at least in the Zarya and Farah departments, against Mopin, Katesy, and Jumper Cables. Hopefully, we'll see Jumper Cables building up that ultimate pretty quickly.
If Calico can drop the beat as those rockets come flying down from the sky, could actually save them here, but we do see Mopin looking for those side pushes, going to try and find his way onto the back line, pull out the barrage with a sneaky, and he does actually get flashbang now, and Saint Fox will go down in the background, trying to pressure Nickelship, but Nickelship's having none of it. Mopin's still there with Wolfman by his side, as per usual. Delusional keep him out of the way though, and Calico's just going to stay on this back line. He's actually staying with Shovox just so he can actually use that speed boost at any moment when he needs to get him out there. So that's really, really good for Shovox. He's one of the main players on their team, doing a great job at keeping a lot of the displacement down and making space for his DPS. Actual goes down, Graviton goes down, and we do have the barrage come down, but Casey's actually going to tank a lot of it there and keep his attention on him for way too long, and Saint Fox might be able to pick some more of these picks.
That was a really unfortunate ultimate. They didn't find too much, but Delusional looking for the pick onto Mopin, trying to find it. If he can find the pick, does actually find it. There's a big opportunity. He gets the shield onto Showbox now. That's an interesting chat. Actually manages to at least put Casey out of commission for a little while. Great work from the side of Delusional on this Zarya, finally turning up after a little bit of a lackluster ultimate to at least win them the fight.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, you did see the nice shield go onto immediately into Shovox, kept him alive in that fight, and the shatter prevented Casey coming anywhere near his supports because he's been really, really difficult to work around because he's always hitting those hooks very, very often, and that's been the initiation they need in these fights. And Jumper Cable's probably looking to use his shatter in this upcoming fight with Spicy Rice. Got to take care of him. He has the barrage coming up very soon. Delusional, 54%. He's building it fast. Calico going very low. Might be taken out as he's been pressured though, and barrage comes down straight again. We'll find out Jump Cables get taken out of the sky as he's stationary. Barrage of their own will pick up many.
That's a beautiful ultimate and a beautiful follow-up coming out from Mopin yet again on this Farah, proving to have aerial superiority, and they still have at least 1 ultimate coming up from Jumper Cables. You're going to see Showbox also generate that pretty quickly, and it's going to be probably 2 ultimates apiece if we see Delusional and Saint Fox join. I think Fusion definitely have the advantage here because they do have at least a combo. As you can see, Jumper Cables and Saint Fox can come with that together with that high noon. And if Saint Fox can find something like Dikushi found at the start of this map, it's going to be difficult for Newcastle to actually get anything as they have been struggling to get on here. Great charge!
Yeah, oh, Earth Shadow goes down to Wolfman. This is the time he needs to go, but he gets back up slowly but surely. Spicy Rice is trying to find him in the back there. A lot of blue we're seeing on the screen though right now, and Shovox is looking for some more kills. Gets hooked in as he's charging Katesy. You absolute madman.
Spicy Rice is doing a lot of damage here, doing a great job, really showing up, and actually helps them take the 2nd point here. And ACL bringing it back. This could be an opportunity. This is the final point for the final map here between Durham and Newcastle. 2 very close cities. Have a little bit of a rivalry between them in general. We've even got some Durham people on the Newcastle side. They come from Durham at least. Definitely an exciting match to watch, and we've been having pretty much the time of our lives. We've had some really close games in Series 1. We had a complete blowout from Durham in Game 2. And now in Game 3, it's starting to get back, and we're on the edge as we head into the final stretch.
Indeed, we're on the edge, and this is the cliff. Who will push off who in this final game? Deciding between Durham and Newcastle. Let us guys know who you want to win in the chat, and we'll continue this game with a big bang. We've got the 2 rockets in the skies once again, and Wolfman is keeping Mopin alive all the time. His favorite friend, and Gatronics is staying high as well. See who can pick up the first, and Mopin will finally kill into Nickel Sheep. That's huge. No more hits going to take part in the sky, and Spicy Rice is forced to turn his attention to Mopin.
But Spicy Rice, who gets taken out by jump cables. Return kills starting to come out from the side of Newcastle, but they are feeling a little bit gimped here by the fact they don't have much damage. Delusional managing to find jump cables though, and NACL starting to put up a fight, but Saint Fox with a beautiful pick on the back line, taking out the Tronics. That's a nice shadow from Showbox. It's going to give them pretty much the point here as we see Casey actually go, not quite going to go down, but surely won't be very long.
Jumper Cables actually gets his suit back up again. Maybe unwise, should have just died there because he's given a lot of charge over to the side of Newcastle. You see Calico's already on 99% and the game's not even started. That Lucio sound barrier is so infamous for being hard to build up, and he's already got it. That's insane. So we're going to have to see some more ultimates. Delusional is looking on a grab coming up. So if you can find Saint Fox in that grab, it's going to be really important because he won't be able to use this pulse bomb that he's actually charging right now, which he's used a lot of time to take out backlines or key DPS players. So if they can get him out of the way, things are going to start to look a lot easier, and it's only Mopin that they have to worry about now.
Jumper Cable's getting right onto Spicy, trying to find the kill, can't quite. There's a lot of healing coming through and a lot of peel. Showbox doing a lot of work here, and Calico moving on through, dropping that beat. Gonna keep the team all healthy, not really taking too much damage, and gonna completely control this point so far with a crisp, clean lock.
Maybe an unneeded sound barrier, however, but they do have a lot of ults in the pocket as well. But they've got Valkyrie, Barrage, Katesy, but they will switch off, waste both ultimates there, but smart all in all, because they know they do need Katesy on that Roadhog again. If you can pull in Nickel Sheep, you know he only has the roll, and if he can't roll out the way of it, that's it, he's done. With Nickel Sheep on that Deadeye as well, he's stationary. He's going to be leaving Casey a nice easy hook to pull out there. Delusional can make this a nice grab though very soon. Double justice! That's too much justice for me, and the grab goes down finally.
Yeah, Showbox trying to find the damage. It does find Jumper Cables, but he's taking a lot of damage. Saint Fox doing a really great job and actually finding 3 picks there. Absolutely dominating this fight as Newcastle can't seem to now deal with the hit scan rather than projectile.
Indeed, but Showbox have it goes down quite quickly, but he's just going to stay on it. Wants it to get as close to 90% as possible, unless his team can come in. But they both will go down. Saint Fox, bang, bang, 2 down, double down. So that's pretty good for these guys. They're going to stay on point, but it's 90%, which means they only need 1 fight, pump it over into their favor, and possibly 1 final fight afterwards. So this is looking good for Newcastle right now, with they're on 10% so far.
And they do have Nickel Sheep's ultimate. He has found some pretty good fights with that so far. Showbox now on this Winston, swapped off of that Reinhardt. Obviously feeling it doesn't work. That's a nice ultimate from Nickel Sheep to find Saint Fox early on. And an early pick like that could be all they need to take it out here, as Fusion's waiting room are really struggling. They might find... No, they don't quite find Gatronics there, unfortunately. Mopin not finding the air shot, but Delusional doing a lot of work. Not high charge yet, but still finding a lot of damage, finding those good shields, and Spicy Rice in this background doing a great job. Wow.
This is the final fight now. Can they make it? Delusional does find the kill onto Casey, but the Transcendence comes down, keep them nice and healthy. Calico trying to stay out of the way of that barrage, but there's only 2 on the point right now, and Spicy Rice will go down afterwards. Monkfish, it looks like Calico's going to try and stay alive as long as possible. He's so fast, you cannot find him. He is going at Mach 10 speeds, breaking the sound barrier as he jumps around this small cylinder, but he's going to be pushed off the point. They only need 1 more tick now. Spicy Rice just have the barrage, but Saint Fox can use that Deadeye to shoot him right out the skies as he goes plummeting down, and we'll have to wait for that to happen in this next fight, unless Saint Fox goes down early once again.
We need to see Delusional hit a brilliant ultimate here to set up for Spicy Rice to find that barrage and completely shut down just maybe 2 or 3 members of Fusion waiting, and then they're going to completely dominate this fight. But Jumper Cables with the Shatter is always a threat. He has been impressive with it, not quite dropping it there, which is surprising.
So we do have Nickel Sheep on the top ground here, looking for some more kills. We'll find Deadeye very shortly. Might just be able to get him. I think they got a big one! They caught the fish! And Nickel Sheep will pull Wolfman out of the skies before he can res anyone! Lovely done! Calica putting in the last couple of barriers to kill down Jumper Cables, and Gatronics will fall, but it doesn't matter. The Mercy's out of there, but there's no Mercy coming out from the side of Newcastle at all. And they're just going to try and push them all. Saint Fox desperately trying to get onto it. Can they find the kill? We'll find the nice rock onto it, and that's it! Newcastle take the game!
Absolutely stellar play coming out from Newcastle, really pulling it out of the hat after falling in a pretty dominating 2-0 stomp in the second game. They bring it back in the third after losing the first game in a reverse sweep with some brilliant plays, and this middle map was absolutely fantastic. And Nickel Sheep, this is the turning point for the entirety of NACL's hopes in this final game. And from there on out, they looked fantastic, really rallied around it and managed to take it here in a 2-1 victory over Durham. Congratulations to both sides.
Very well done. Spicy Rice, who having a really tough time throughout, trying to keep it up. The barrage came out so many times, so many instrumental barrages he brought out. And Delusional, that switch onto Zarya, really well played, because he was able to actually bubble the Farah in the air to prevent anything from happening to her while she was up there, which was really, really well done. And smart plays all in all. And some good, really good picks out. Casey and Saint Fox.
Hello? Sorry, yeah, Casey and Saint Fox certainly were doing a really good job. Saint Fox on those hit scans, just finding pick after pick after pick. And even on this Tracer, which felt a little bit lackluster at times, was finding picks onto those back players. We saw oftentimes Spicy Rice getting picked off by the McCree when he was running it. Definitely some good ultimates in return, but didn't quite match up to Nickel Sheep. Nickel Sheep finding some really nice high noons, and Spicy Rice and Delusional at the end, as was highlighted, managing to find that combo and completely obliterating the backline of Fusion Waiting Room, which is dark. I think that's probably going to be how we end up today. It's definitely been a great Swiss, and that is the end of pretty much everything here. We're going to be going into the top, I think, 8 of all the teams of NUEL as we go into the quarterfinals bracket. It'll definitely be an exciting one to see. Everyone should definitely come and watch that next week. We've got King of the North also coming up this weekend. If you are anywhere near Manchester, even if you're not, you should be going. It's going to be in the Media City Centre. Definitely a great venue. Got some really great games coming up. In fact, I think last year's King of the North's winners, UOB Poseidon, are going to be playing. We're going to be also having Swansea, who you saw earlier today. I believe some of the other teams are Underwatch from York, who have also put up some sterling play. And I think the last team is from Kiel, who definitely had a really good read on the matter and were really exciting to watch with some brilliant summer play. Thank you all for watching and have a lovely night. See you next time.